Yes, good morning, viewers. Once again, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yusuf Olayinka Chogweson. Today, we'll be talking about selecting and refining a research topic. Basically, in research methodology, when you talk about research topic is the topic that convey the problem that wants to be investigated. As a researcher, for you to select research topic, there are various sources through which you can get research topic. More importantly, sources can either come from theories, personal experiences, replication of previous studies, through library sources or through online sources, as well as emerging issues. So when we say theories, there are some theories that often explain reality or an abstraction from reality. So theories will help you understand or explain a particular phenomenon. It will help you explore the gaps, contradictions, as well as extensions, such as you are going to use it to explain what is happening about that phenomenon, or how that phenomenon can be understood given the current reality. So that theory will then give you a guide or serve as a framework, and from there you can have a research topic. Personal experience is also one of the avenue through which you can get a research topic. Sometimes based on day-to-day observations or interactions in the society as an individual, you come across certain issues that needs to be investigated, that is related to your area of interest. Also, replicated studies that have been done in a different context, in a different location, in a different environment, among different population, and so on and so forth. You can try to replicate it to validate whether those findings will be valid, whether it will be generalizable, or to also explore whether or not you are going to get new information or update existing information. In selecting research topic, library sources containing theses, dissertations of past projects, textbooks, journals, policy documents can also be found in a library, whereby it will then give you insights into how they have been investigated previously and what needs or the gaps that still needs to be filled. Hence, you will have a research topic. Online sources in this digital era, database such as Google Scholars, such as ResearchGate, ERIC, Scopus, and so on and so forth, contains published articles, whereby going through them one can understand the context and the variables they have investigated, how they have investigated it and what they found out. And as such, this can also help you establish a gap, and that will raise a further study, which is going to be a research topic. There's always a new way of doing everything. So as such, you will then be able to do it in your own way, in your own perspective, following another methodology or using another environment, and so on and so forth. But these online sources will help you have access to previously published research articles, research journals, manuscripts, theses, dissertations, policy documents that will then give you insights. Then we say emerging trends. There was a time during COVID-19 that COVID-19 pandemic gave rise to a lot of topic around it. So this emerging trend can also assist researchers to provide solution immediately, conduct action research, explore a lot of things that resolve around that trend currently. However, for you to choose any research topic from all those sources, two things are involved. It is either it is your interest, especially when it aligns with your intellectual curiosity and compassion, or you are motivated to study that phenomenon over time. That is one, interest or feasibility. Because most times even if you are interested in a particular research endeavor, the feasibility is also one of the paramount characteristics or things that you have to consider when you want to choose a research topic. Is data going to be available? That's one of those indicators of feasibility. Are you going to have access to the participants or certain documents that you will need? Are you going to consider the time constraint? Do you have enough time to carry out that kind of study? Is there enough cost, both financial and material cost, as well as resources available? Do you have expertise, or your supervisor have expertise that will be able to guide you appropriately? Are there any ethical considerations that you need to put in place before you proceed for such studies? Feasibility is also one of those things that you have to consider when you want to when you want to select a topic. Now, once a topic has been selected, that topic must possess the following characteristics if it must be a good research topic. It must be clear, it must be such that it is focused, especially narrow enough to be addressed within a time frame. It must be researchable, it must be relevant, such as contributing to a body of knowledge or solving practical problems. It must be original. Even if you are replicating, you must add value, you must be doing it differently or doing it another way. It must be feasible given your available human and financial resources as well as expertise. Then it must be ethical. It doesn't violate any participant's right, any institutional rule, any socio-cultural undertone. It doesn't have any issues, it doesn't bring more problems, it doesn't cause any harm, and so on and so forth. So as such, once a topic that you have selected possess all these characteristics, then you are good to go. However, that is the first stage, selecting a research topic. Refining that topic is important. Why? Why do you have to refine? You are going to be moving from being broad to being precise and being researchable as well as being focused. So when you want to refine a research topic, there are 5 steps that you can follow that will assist you to refine a research topic. First of all, you have to start from a broad area. Then you narrow it, that's the second step, to a specific issue. After which you then specify the population that you will be interested in investigating. After that, you then identify the variables associated with that specific areas that you are going to focus upon. Then you can then consider the location. All these will help you refine your topic. For example, you are interested in ICT integration in education. That's a broad area. But you can narrow that area to a specific issue that has to do with probably teachers' usage of ICT. That's more specific. However, teachers can be in the primary, can be in the secondary, can be in the tertiary institution. So you can, in other words, can say specifying the population to primary school teachers. Then the variable of interest can either be the attitude towards the use of ICT, the ICT competency, or the availability of ICT resources. These are variables that you can then either make one a dependent variable, an independent variable, a moderating variable, or a variable of interest. So you need to specify or identify the variables so that will form the focus or the direct basis in which your research questions and research hypothesis will then emanate from. Then you can then consider the location. Probably, okay, I'm going to look at Osun State, or I'm going to study it in a particular local government or a metropolis, and so on and so forth. This will help you refine that topic that you have selected from various sources, as well as that you have considered whether they are researchable, whether they are relevant, whether they are ethical, and so on and so forth. After refining research topic, there are also ways by which you will know whether a topic is okay. Once a topic possess variables, that variable can either be, just like I have established before now, it can either be dependent or independent variable. So if your variable is independent variable and dependent variable, looking at that topic, you are going to see whether the direction of the topic, are you trying to explore that independent variable, how it affects the dependent variable? Are you trying to investigate something around a particular variable of interest so that you can find out more exploratively? Or are you trying to confirm something around variables, whether they cause one another, whether they are related, whether they are different, and so on and so forth? All this will help you know whether your topic is suitable and researchable. So join me in the next series as we also proceed on how to raise research questions and then formulate or generate hypotheses from a research topic. Thank you for listening.